What is up, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac coming to you with a late LATE episode of the Dre Mac Show. And I'm going to have a special guest that we're going to talk about horror movies and why I think they're funny. And also, we're going to talk about The Last of Us, which I know I'm kind of late to the party because of the weekend and the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. But you know how we do it around here. We're going to get it started. When I come back, I will have my special guest on, and we're going to talk about the Last of Us movies and all of that stuff. But the real question is,
Are you ready?
all right, and we have in the house special guest in the house.
It's not Rihanna's baby. It is your girl Meka G.
What is up, Meka?
What's up? What's up?
Nothing. Obviously, we didn't place a bet on the game.
Mm-mm.
I'm glad we didn't, or the show would have went a little sideways if money was involved, or monetary things. So I'm kind of glad it didn't go the way that it could have went. So I'm very happy about that. But congratulations to my Kansas City Chiefs. They played a hell of a game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously Meka G is a Eagles fan. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. And I tweeted that. I'm like, man, Jalen played a hell of a game. I don't care what nobody say. Is this Kendra? Is it? Am I saying it right? Kendra. Fly, Eagles, fly. See. I didn't do all that. See, I didn't say Chiefs Kingdom, Red Kingdom. I didn't do all that. You know what I'm saying? What I said was, you know what I'm saying, that I am happy. You know what I'm saying? For Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, a very great game. Yes, it ended. You can say controversial. They don't call that or whatever. The man was grabbing. He was touching. He was grabbing like Michael Jackson's crotch. You know what I mean? But what's up? If in the grab, he was grabbing. You remember? Oh, wait a minute. Let's not act like we didn't all watch Black and White when we were like 12 or 13. If you're old enough, and see Michael grab, you know what I'm saying, his crotch more times. That man was grabbing his jersey. He was grabbing. So, but nah, it's all good. What's up, Kendra? What is going on today? If people are haven't tuned in or whatever, tell us more about yourself, Miss Meka G. I know you've been on the show before in an impromptu episode, but tell them the podcast that you are a part of, and tell them a little bit more about yourself.
So Meka G from Jacksonville, Florida, but currently serving our great nation.
Salute.
So the current podcast that I'm on is Blues House Live. Shout out to Blue and Kobe. We're on every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, around 8 or 9 o'clock ish, depending on the topics and things like that. The other show that I am on is Popcorn in Your Beard. Shout out to Rashad, Mo, Duke, and Ken.
Shout out to the crew.
To the fellas, the crew. We are on every Tuesday and Thursday, sometimes Friday, sometimes Saturday, sometimes Sunday. It depends on if we're just kicking it on Saturday or doing game night. So yeah, that's pretty much like. Oh, and Die Hard, like you said, Die Hard horror movie fan. As you can see, like yeah, I love horror movies, but I just don't talk horror movies. I know other movies, but don't ask me anything about no comic books.
So y'all got that right. We're gonna be talking horror now. I'm trying to figure because I'm in the middle of getting this done. I want to do The Last of Us, but I kind of want to start off with the major thing that I watched that I never seen before, which was Stephen King's It.
And that
So
amazes me.
everybody was like, "You ain't seen that? Whoa, what's wrong with you? You ain't seen no It? What? I don't see It. I'm like,
I hope they didn't look like that.
yeah, you ain't never seen It. Oh, get it. This movie's great. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, I just never seen it. So, I am going to, yeah, I think we're going to kick off here with it here in a second. But anyway, how was your day today? How was your day?
It was good. Considering the fact that I had no voice starting at the beginning of the day, but meds and tea will make will soothe anything. So I'm here. How was your day?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm sleepy and I'm 2 coffees down. So if you hear me get excited, that's because I'm full of coffee. Right? I could be full of Mountain Dew, but I didn't want to jump over nobody like a spider monkey. I just I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I can't. I can't. This is gonna be an interesting show.
I am. Trust me, I am on fire. I just got off a podcast just a second ago. Shout out to the young brother. I can't think of his name because I'm in the middle of like, if y'all knew what I was doing on the back end here, like, dude, I literally like legitimately just got off this young brother's podcast. And it's funny when I tell people my age and they sit up there and look at me like it was like, wait a minute, what? Yes, I am a old man and I can't wait to get discounts at Denny's and Shoney's for pancakes. I'm telling you, I will not wait. Yes, I said discounts for pancakes. Yes, I said that. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't you
right.
don't you do that. Everybody wants a senior citizen. Everybody, no, don't play now. Everybody will take a senior citizen biscuit meal or pancake meal.
I can wait. Okay. I can wait.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get my life alert just in case people want to start talking crazy. I can hit my little thing. We've got emergency crews on our way. Yes, I said Shoney's. I will find the Shoney's.
We ain't got no Shoney's. We don't have no Shoney's.
I did find it. I did find the Shoney's in Nashville though. I will go to Shoney's. I will go all the way to Shoney's just for a Rudy two. That's IHOP. That's IHOP. I will go get I can 55 and up. I'll go get me a 55 and up.
You gonna flip the menu where you 55 and up is on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And no bacon. And unlimited coffee.
See, you tell me you're not prepared for this.
I'm not. I just read it because because whenever I was waiting for my food, like I'd be like waiting for the waitress to come back. I'm like, oh, senior citizen menu. Mm-hmm. Oh, they don't got much.
I take that unlimited coffee so I can sit there all day and talk about young folks. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look at them wearing them shorts. No, they need to be shaming themselves. That's I can't wait to talk about people and not get in trouble and chalk it up because I'm old.
Oh, you about to be one of them in the mall. In the mall sitting on the bench talking, she knows she's wrong for them shorts.
Little fast hair gal.
But in my younger days.
But like, oh, look at over there looking at right there. Don't have no. I take her for my Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. I swear to God. All right, so I'm almost done with this. Let's bring up It. Okay. Let's bring up Stephen King's It.
Okay.
Tell me real quick why you like this movie, and then we're gonna kind of chop it up a little bit on that. But tell everybody why you like this movie. The original Stephen King's It.
Yes. Not the remake.
Not the remake. We're talking about the the number one.
Yes. This movie I'm sorry, it's not even a movie. It's now a movie, but it was originally a TV miniseries that came out in 1990 on ABC. So the reason why I liked it because at the time, it was scary as hell. Like, this clown was going around like killing these kids. And when I tell you, it was so scary at the point when it came out that I remember being like 11, 12 years, 10, 11 years old and walking in the middle of the street so I could avoid walking past like the sewer drains. That's how much this movie put fear in people's hearts. Like, it made you avoid sewer drains. It made you avoid like drains altogether. When he came out through, I'm like, I love this movie. It's a classic. Although when they put it on the DVD and they put it on Blu-ray, they cut some scenes out. But I get it. The reason why they did it. But it's a classic. I mean, and Tim Curry as Pennywise, like,
I'm going to oops, I didn't mean to do that. Nope, you come back. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to tell you, I've never had so much fun. What's going on? Let me just shout out people in the chat because I'm really not, because I was too busy doing this in the background. So Kendra, what's up? I know she said what's up, y'all, but I'm a make sure to get to the comment section. Yeah, it was real. It's just like that grab that the dude did in the Eagles game was real.
Be hyping him up.
Horror is her skeleton makeup. I like that. Yep, Shoney's, and then you said seniors don't eat much, so the menu is short. I sure don't. D Stizzle, what is up, man? My man D Stizzle in the house. What's up, Blue? Blue's house is in the house. I might, hey, stick around in this chat, Blue. I might stick you in at the end, just with a little short conversation. You know what I mean? Because I might have to pull up the wrap it up box if we go too long. Because you better wrap that gavel up. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So I've never seen this movie. So I'm doing this for the first time. Never seen this movie at all. And I'm not gonna lie, I had so much fun watching this movie. So I'm coming out as a person who has never ever seen it before. Stevie King's It. It was brand new to me, and I was rolling. I'm talking about I've never died laughing so much watching this. So I'm not going to break it down by scene because first of all, I did rent this. I rented it on Vudu, and they only gave me 48 hours. And if you watch 10 minutes of it, they be like, hurry up. They're the wrap it up box. They like, you better wrap this up. Hurry up and wrap this up. So I literally had like 48 hours from the time I clicked play to watch this. So I watched it at work. Oh, thanks, D Stizzle, man. Yeah, she's won. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna brag. But
he's gonna brag.
So I'm watching this, and I want to give you some context. I literally been watching horror movies ever since I was like 7 or 8 years old. And we're talking about the Cujos, Christine's, Firestarter, Prom Night, the classic 80s stuff, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I mean? Those type of movies. I was watching those as a kid. So you know what I mean? So it was like I was like, man, it was a great game. Got hurt. Yeah, I don't know. But he played good, but he fumbled. But anyway, so when it comes to horror movies, I'm kind of desensitized when it comes to the whole horror aspect. It's more like funny to me. I grew up on Kruger. So I mean, so I'm watching this. I'm watching the movie, and I'm watching Tim Curry as Pennywise. I never laughed so hard in my life. Now I'm gonna go back to the kids. Now I'm gonna tell you this to me and Meka. I'm gonna shift this to you. The first part of it is about the kids in the miniseries. So
Correct.
the first part you deal with the kids.
Correct.
It was classic Stephen King to me. And if you watch Stephen King movies, it was classic Stephen King. He had the bully who was the bully that he was the bully to everybody. To me, he was the bully to the black kids, bully to the gays, bully to the Jews. He was your typical 80s bully.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the bullies. You know what I mean? Your perspective on that.
So, like the bullies in this film is, like you said, the typical bullies in any horror movie. You know what I'm saying? Belch, Henry, and I can't remember the third guy's name or the other two guys' name in the show. I mean in the show, but like Henry came from an abusive family. You know what I'm saying? So because he was being abused at home, he took his abuse out on the Losers Club.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he basically wanted to, have his way with Bev, and like she refused him, and and then the other ones were just straight up losers, and then you had the one token black kid, so you knew he was gonna get bullied because
you already knew in the 1960s he was the only black dude in the town. We didn't even see his parents. Like, but first of all, where did he come from? You know what I mean? Wait, I think I think Tim Reed's younger kid is an alien. I think he was the real alien because he's the only black kid in the whole entire movie, and they never show his parents. Not once did they show a flashback to his parents. He talked about his dad, but where was his mama and daddy at? Come on now.
That was the interesting thing about this movie is that we really didn't get to see the parents except for like Beverly's dad, and then Bill's parents as well because of Georgie. But in the black kid's case, dang, I don't even know why we're calling him the black kid. He has a name, but in his case, he had just moved to town, but he knew all of these facts about Derry, and he had just moved there. Which was
literally just got into town, and then everybody's looking at him like, this weirdo kid knows about all of it. What? There's nobody want to hear this morbid story, right? You know what I mean? Now, I do say, I'm forgive me, anybody who's a horror fan or anything, but I'm not gonna lie. When I heard Pennywise was like, "Come here, Georgie, you want to take this? You want to float my boat?"
That ain't even what he said.
Whatever it was funny. I thought about in there. You're not supposed to laugh because the kid is literally about to get murdered. Okay, I would know. The opening scene. The mother's out there, old school, and I ain't gonna lie, kind of threw me back seeing somebody dry their clothes on the clothesline. I'm like, oh snap, man, that's drawing back some memories. So she's getting the clothes, and her daughter is sitting there riding a tricycle, right? She stops paying attention to her daughter. Your daughter's like 4. You know what I mean? Stop paying attention to her daughter. Pennywise goes to eat her, and it was like, oh, we just found her with her, I guess her arms was missing or something like. What? Yeah. But again,
but that was a sign of the times, though.
Typical 80s, typical and late 80s, typical 80s, 90s horror. Right. I would say late 80s, early 90s horror because late 90s became the teen slasher time. So
exactly.
So we get with we start getting with the Losers Club. Guy from Three's Company, his kid character, John Ritter. Thank you, John Ritter. So John Ritter's character is the fat kid, and I put this on everything. Didn't Stephen King do that in another movie too? Like making fun of I want to say he made fun of a fat kid in another movie too. It's almost like a cliche where you gotta bully someone in his movie, whether they're fat or gay or whatever it is. I
would have to. I don't know.
I can't.
Stand by Me.
Stand by Me. Yeah,
Thanks,
I knew I was gonna. Yeah, and for real, this is Stand by Me with horror.
Oh yeah.
or that's all it is. Stand by Me with horror. So you know, and again, that was typical 80s too, because we look at Monster Squad, you know what I mean? You know, you got the fat kid in Monster Squad, and
Mm-hmm.
you have the fat kid in Goonies, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have those, but again, in typical Stephen King fashion, the first the kids have was really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing because John Ritter's kid character is sitting outside, and here comes Pennywise. You know what I'm saying? Just standing there, just why? Why is he standing there? You know what I mean? And he's just standing. He was like, "That's not my dad." You know what I mean? And he just is. Oh my god, I loved every minute of this. I'm not even gonna lie. I loved every minute of this.
But the beauty behind this movie in the first half of it is that you got to see like Pennywise like feed off of the fear of each character, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of bled over into the second half too, but more so in the first half. And it's funny because the director said that the second half of the movie wasn't as magical because the adult actors were like, you know, they just didn't gel like the kids did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, they're kids, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do kid shit, you know what I'm saying? So
Right, and then when you got the DJ from WKRP in Cincinnati, you got the judge from Night Court, you got John Ritter from Three's Company, you got Annette O'Toole that I put this on everything. I know she was in some 80s TV shows or something like that, you know, back then, but I think she's like was she the main head cast of that, or was it John Ritter? I'm not for sure. But you got all these adult characters and you're trying to get them to mesh, and it just doesn't mesh well. And I
right.
will agree with you on that one. The one kid that with the
Ed,
inhaler,
Eddie.
Eddie's now Spaghetti Eddie. Yes, that's right. See, I watched. Yeah, I hate when you call me that. Now he was the only one as the kid and the adult that I kind of really liked.
Mm-hmm.
I did like Seth Green as a kid. The Seth Green character becomes the judge from Night Court. So I'm gonna call him. He's the judge from Night
The
Court.
judge from Night Court. That's where we're gonna go.
Yeah, he's gonna be the judge from Night Court. His younger self, because of Seth Green, was amazing. And you were right. They did a lot of Stand By Me in that beginning, building these characters up, you know, doing the fear tactic, which I was more afraid of the psychopathic bullies than I was of it. Man, I would rather hang with Pennywise than that psychopath, wanna be 1950, you know, tell my I'm gonna kill you all. Who am I more afraid of? Like, I'm going to bed scared that this dude gonna jump through my window more than I am Pennywise. A dude, man, he's a clown with sharp teeth. Go down Rodeo, you might see that. You know what I'm saying? In Hollywood. You know what I mean? So that's not scary. This psychopath, he's the nut bucket that I'm afraid of.
And I think that's like the thing behind this movie is that they had this psychopath bully that literally was trying to cut people up and kill them, but they also had this supernatural being that they didn't know what it was, that was also trying to kill them. But it was not just trying to kill them, but was actually killing kids in town. And what I'm saying, they had all these missing posters. Did you hear about so and so? She's missing now. Like you're not safe whether you're in dealing with the supernatural or whether you're dealing with this crazy bully.
Right. In the problem, the problem that I have with all Stephen King movies, I've always had a problem with this, is that there are no motivation to the antagonist's action. Like, why is this kid a psychopath at 14? You know what I'm saying? Because he's not 12. He's way too big. Him and the other boy way too big to be in this middle school with these 12-year-olds. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, why is he like this? Why is he like this? Where did Pennywise come from? Why is he munching on kids and he ain't took out these bullies yet? I know they taste probably like chicken wings or steak burgers or something. You could have ate them. You could have powered up the way that the fear. Go get them bullies, scare them half to death. You ain't got to worry about not being powered no more. You got all the power. They got all the power in the world from these three creeps. You know what I mean? So there was no development of the antagonist characters. They're just being a bully to be a bully, and that's the only thing on Stephen King movies like that I don't like is that there's no why when it comes to like antagonists. So Pennywise, I'm like, why are you eating these kids? You know what I mean? It's just there's no conclusion. There's no talking points. And I know you said that you seen I know that you said you seen the remake and it tells the story a little better.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: since you watched the director's notes, I guess the behind the scenes of the original one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they actually talk about, the reason why they didn't go in depth with the story of it, or did they talk about that?
So originally it was supposed to be a 10 episode series. And George Romero was originally supposed to direct it. He shot to ABC, hey, I'm going to do a 10 episode series of it, and it would have went into like all the subplots, the Henry Bowers story. You would have went into Henry Bowers' backstory, which his backstory is he has an abusive father who just so happens to be the police chief in the as well. So but George Romero ended up walking because ABC was like, nah, can you do 6? And no, can you do 8? And he was like, no. And then it was like, oh no, can you do 6? Like they had their feelings about this book because let's be real, it's Stephen King, it's graphic, it's gory, and there's a certain scene in there that just should never be played on TV or in a movie, period. But
right.
So eventually Romero ended up walking away from ABC and went on to do the Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 version of Night of the Living Dead, and Tommy Lee Wallace came in and was like, and that's when ABC settled on a 2-part series. You cannot fit everything into a 2-part miniseries, so that's why you don't get the backstory that about Henry Bowers, and you don't get more in depth of why he came to Earth and all that, because he's a supernatural being that just so happened to come to Earth. But like I said, more of this is explained in the remake.
Yeah, because I'm watching the film itself, and the film is 3 hours long, people. I'm talking about the original one is broken up into 2 parts, but it's 3 hours and 7 minutes straight. So I'm watching it, and one thing that I noticed is that, and like you said, the kids part in the beginning, it's a lot of it's very well written. Also, there's some not good parts, and you could tell where they probably chopped it. Was like, no, we can't go this far. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I would give you an example. Tim Reed showing up at the beginning of the movie. I'm thinking, because remember, I've never seen this before in my life. You know what I'm saying? And this movie came out in 1990. It's 2023. Never seen it before in my life. And I'm like, is he a detective? He's a librarian. I'm like, are you serious? He's picking up. I'm thinking he's on the verge of being, Dick Tracy or Batman. He's a librarian. I'm like, and then they're doing this. And this is the part that, again, I'm laughing because I think it's funny. Calls him, hey, John. Yeah, this is Mike. It's back. Yeah. Can you come into town? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll see you later. Remember your promise. Okay. Why are you talking in that voice? Nobody talks like that. Nobody.
It had to be dramatic. It had to be dramatic.
Yeah. Is this Bill? Yeah, this is Mike. Yeah, I know you haven't talked to me in 30 years. But guess what? It's back. Yeah. Remember your promise. Wait, don't you hang up on me. Don't you hang up on me. You, okay, you coming? All right, cool. I'm gonna have some nachos here when you get here. Okay, you like cheese? Okay, I'll be back. All right. You mean like he called everybody like that? He called everybody. Everybody. Is it Elizabeth? Liz? Is it Elizabeth?
No.
That's not her name?
No.
What's her name?
It's Bev.
Oh, God.
It's Bev.
I'm not gonna lie. Eventually, I'm not gonna lie. Tim Curry steals it so much as Pennywise. Some of these characters become, and I believe the more the adult characters become forgettable. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no,
They become forgettable.
No, that's how I feel. That's how I felt about the second half of this series. It's just like am I invested in these people? Like the only one I probably like you said, Eddie was probably the one that I was most invested in. But everybody else, I was like, yo, y'all.
Hold on, wait a minute. So, okay, so John Ritter's kid character, I can't think of his name. It's not Billy. Billy, I know Billy is supposed to be, I guess, like the main character.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
His name is Ben.
Is Ben? I thought it was Billy.
No. Billy is the Jonathan character.
Okay.
And then Ben is the John Ritter character.
Ben. Okay, so Ben and Billy. Okay, so there is he had the problem with the stuttering, right? Like, but they really first of all, when he's talking to George,
oh Lord,
he goes in and out of stuttering, and I'm like, I know I'm not tripping, and I literally went back and rewinded, and he was like, Georgie, get out of here, get.
So the funny part about that is the actor actually had a hard time creating the stutter.
The stutter.
When he found out he got the part and he had to stutter, he was like, it was so hard for him to do. Like even his voice coach was trying to teach him how to stutter, and it was so hard for that. So that's why throughout the movie or throughout the series, you hear his stutter goes away and then it comes back.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was I'm not gonna lie, because the reason why I thought it was funny is because Pennywise was like, "Hey, bit, Billy." I'm like, yes, that's the kind of antagonist I need. That's the kind. It to me, just my thought, because I know the book came out first. I know the book came out way before Nightmare on Elm Street. I know it has. Mm-hmm. But Tim Curry played that as much as of the Joker in Freddy Krueger is possible. It was like he was more Joker-ish to me, and I loved Freddy Krueger because of the whole fear thing when he had to be scared. But man, he was so much of the Joker. When he was in that in the library, it was like, yeah. Oh my, that's why I said the characters are forgettable, because Tim Curry completely steals that. And right. I'm not gonna lie, if I watch the second one and he doesn't do I don't know, it's Peter Skarsgård, I believe. No, yes, Peter Skarsgård. No, Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, not Bill. Is it Bill? Or is it Bill or Peter? Or I think Bill is his brother. Yeah, I think it's the other Peter. One. Yeah, the other one.
Let's just go with the other one.
Yeah, the other one. They whole family act. His daddy act, the kids act. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here trying to become a kid, one of his kids. But if he doesn't bring that type of performance, and don't ruin it, but I gotta see it for myself, because man, I am in there dying. Now, remind you, I'm going from my favorite horror movie of all time, besides Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, is Child's Play 1. So when you have these characters that are when the antagonist is larger than life, Freddy Krueger is all the kids could get killed. I wouldn't care. Freddy could be the last man stand. I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it because his character stands out. Same thing with Chucky. His character stood out. Child's Play 1, yes. Child's Play 1 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time because I used to watch that all the time as a kid. It had so much sentimental value to me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So as a kid, you know, watching it with my aunt, God rest her soul. So it has so much sentimental value with me. But me and that kid, Andy, was the same age when the movie dropped. So, you know, they had the good guy doll. I wanted my buddy doll, and I could get him my buddy doll. So I had to be happy, you know what I'm saying, with the 3.5-inch G.I. Joe that I got for Christmas. So be happy with that. You know what I mean? So that character it was like he made it. The character, the voice actor made that doll real. You know what I'm saying? For me, and the character was larger than life. When I'm watching Pennywise, he was larger than life. He made me forget all about the names of these characters because he stood out. And to me, that was the highlight of the film. Who stood out for you in this movie?
I would definitely have to say Eddie, and
Eddie
because
Spaghetti.
yeah, Eddie, because number one is when he had the asthma attack, like I was like,
he did.
he was, you know, I mean, basically he was just hyperventilating, but like
he was, and he was like, this is battery acid, you bastard.
And exactly, like you fell in love with Eddie because
was cool.
He was so tiny, but he was so so strong, you know.
Yes.
And even as his adult version of himself, like he's the one that stood out to the most to me, like
adult. Yes.
So like when, you know, he did the same thing when he was a child because he thought that it was going, you know, his mind was still in that childlike state that he thought that battery acid was going to take it out. And, you know, it's sad that, you know, they left my boy behind, yo.
They did. And to me, again, this is the time. This is going off the times. A movie like Stephen King's It and a lot of these movies, everybody had to play a stereotype. Token black guy. Eddie was the for real closeted gay queer character. Because then at the end, you never had what the funniest part of you're getting chased by this gigantic mutated alien monster spider thing. And they have a time where it's like, you know what? I've never been with a woman. And the judge from Night Court was like, hey dog, I can't help you with that. I'm like, yo, dude, what? Yo.
Beat, Richie. Beat.
I'm like, oh my god, dude. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Eddie was a standout. I thought Tim Reed was gonna get get killed like boring. He was Mike. His name is Mike in the movie. Yes, Mike. And I thought Mike was gonna die. You know, them keeping around the bully though. And he breaking out of prison.
It's because story.
because it turned into a clown dog was the funny. I'm literally laughing at this. This is like if over the top ridiculous had a theme, Stephen King gives me over the top ridiculousness. This is the reason why I watch Stephen King movies, because they get to a point where it's just so ridiculous you can't help but sit and watch this.
So funny thing about this series, Stephen King had no.
Oh, give us the fun. Oh no, sir. Yeah, give us the tea. Give us the tea.
Stephen King was not involved with this movie at all.
Okay, who was involved?
It was just Tommy Lee Wallace, and there was another guy that wrote. He wrote another. I can't remember the name of the movie right now, but Stephen King had no involvement with it. So, but he gave his blessing, and he was like, I don't see how you're going to turn this huge book into a mini series, you know, or into episodes, period. So, but he did in the end say, after he watched it, he said he liked it and he was impressed at how terrifying it was. So yeah, Stephen King had no no involvement with this at all. So what
That
you
is
got was straight
interesting.
from the director himself.
That is interesting. You know what I'm saying? That I again, because I'm the one who never seen this, it felt like Stephen King was, had his hand in that. And to know now that he didn't have any involvement with it is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. It's funny. You're right, Gray. ABC did do a lot of Stephen King stuff. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I know was Creepshow his too?
Yes, it was.
Yes, Creepshow is one of my all-time favorites as far as sitting watching something and cracking the hell up because it's supposed to be scary, but it's really not. It's classic Stephen King. I think that's one of the reasons why I could get into Stephen King movies. Is he was like, oh, what do you say, Dre Mac? You really enjoyed this Joy Hunt. Man, I'm dying. I'm dying because it's cheesy too. And a little bit of the magic of the 80s was cheesiness. You know what I'm saying? Was very much the cheese in certain scenes. I'm gonna give you a scene. Spoiler warning: if you have never seen this, like I haven't, and I just seen it last weekend. So they fight the monster, which was very, very Stephen King because all of his movies are very anticlimactic. They fight the monster, right? They pull whatever it is on them and hose it up like 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 on the lion. I mean, not the like the Lion
Yeah,
King,
the Lion King.
and Roots. Kizzy. I'm like, is that a baby? What is going on? And they do it in the shadow, so you never know. I'm like, what is going on? I'm dying. I'm like, oh my God. This is why I do miss certain things of the 80s. There's a cheese factor. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean? That is the one with the hitchhiker joy. Yeah. There's a cheese factor that gets lost in these newer movies. And, I understand taking the source material seriously. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But just a little bit of cheese, you look back on them and be like, they needed that part. You know what I mean? Like that movie needed that part. So that for me was the cheesiest finish to a movie, and I loved it. I loved every minute of that because I'm getting to this battle. You're fighting with Silver again. You shoot the bottom of the bottom of the ant spider thing creature, like a glowing belly, and that's what gets you stuck. So everybody's stuck, but Beth looked right at it and didn't get stuck. And then turned around, got to thinking was doing it. I'm like, yo, what is going on here? What is happening? I wanted them to fight Pennywise straight up one more time. You know what I'm saying? Scary Movie 2 style. The square up. You know what I mean? They didn't. We got the finish that we got, but I'm not gonna lie. It's stupid good. There's some stupid parts, but it's so much cheese and nostalgia and Beth the Freak. I don't care what y'all say. She went kiss Billy. First of all, they just seen each other. They tongue kissing, and then at the end of the movie, she tongue kissing Ben.
Ben.
I'm like, pick one.
So okay, so the reason why she
Pick a
the reason why she had to pick one is because Bill was married.
Yeah, he was.
Bill was married.
He was. That's true. That's true.
But it was supposed to be Ben from Jump because remember
it was
supposed to be Ben because of the letter. Yes.
Yes, it was supposed to be Ben. So I was kind of happy it was him. Oh, let's not forget before we go into The Last of Us, because I hear the Wrap It Up box starting. Before we get to that, the scene where Ben and his wife is riding a bike. And he's trying to
Bill and his wife.
Bill and his wife. And they're riding the bike, and he's trying to snap her out of the coma, whatever that Pennywise, did to her, trying to snap her out. First of all, they're riding in traffic. I'm surprised she didn't freak out and jump off that bike. Because I would if I just and I'm surprised none of the spoof movies, any of the scary movies did not give us that scene to spoof, because I would have spoofed the hell out of that. This part is on a silver platter. Nobody spoofed it. I wanted them to get hit by a car. I'm not gonna lie.
Cold world.
Yeah, because I think that would have been even funnier. What? What did you think about it? I'm sorry. I thought they need to get hit by a car.
I definitely didn't think they should have been hit by a car, but definitely I thought like, damn, we speeding down a damn hill.
Thank you.
doing about 15 miles per hour, and she comes to, and she doesn't freak out at anything. Like she just like
nothing.
She's just like, oh, what are we doing here? Like you said, if it had been me, oh.
Billy, what are we doing here? And then here comes the car.
The bike wouldn't have made it to the middle of the street because we had been on the side of the road.
No, I do like the fact that Tim Curry did keep that. Not Tim Curry. That Mike, Tim Ray's character, did keep the bike. He found the bike in the shop, and it's just sees it come out the blue that doesn't push the narrative forward. All of a sudden, Mike and Billy is riding that bike as adults. It is just out of the blue. It's just there. I know they cut back to the scene where they're kids and they're having that nostalgia moment. But it was kind of weird because it just came out of nowhere and they're just riding the bike together. You know what I mean? And I'm like, if I'm 45, 50, am I riding a bike with my homie? Probably not. But hey, do y'all, man. I'm do y'all. I just wouldn't do it. But I'm a boring person that feel like people need to get hit by cars because they snap out of comas that they didn't even know they were on a freaking bike. You know what I'm saying? Riding down a hill in traffic. So I'm wrong, but
hold on that one.
All right. So what I would rate this movie, if I had a grading scale, since you're part of Popcorn in Your Beard and Blues House, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. A 3 out of 5. Blues House popcorn beer trinklets. That's what I'm gonna give it. That's what I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna.
Popcorn beer trinklets.
That's what I'm gonna give this movie. 3 out of 5. Blues House popcorn in your beer trinklets. So yeah, it's funny. I did get caught up in the story. I'm not gonna lie. The first Blue was rolling. Oh my god. Something wrong with me. Y'all think I just go on you guys' lives and just start trolling in your comment section. No, I'm really like this in real life. Something is wrong with me and I need help. It's all the child support that I pay. It's something. You gotta laugh at something. I
can't.
I can't either. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. Now, watching this movie, you've watched this movie plenty of times. What would you give this movie? The original It.
The original It. I give it a shoot. I mean, because after you see the remake, and then you go back to this, your rating kind of changes on it, because at first I'm like, this is a classic, this is a 5 out of 5, but right now my rating for right now is like almost like a 3.5 out of 5, because there's so much that they missed with this mini series that the other two movies like get you up to speed. You're like, okay, now I know why Henry Burroughs is a psycho. Now I know why Pennywise is.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of felt. We gotta put Dre in the corner.
Dre stay in the corner, y'all. Y'all don't realize this.
and I think that's what I wanted to get from this is the why. And I'm a story guy, and I was looking for the why, and I didn't get that in the original movie, but what I did get was amazing. Tim Curry was amazing. So I'm gonna give him ultimate props on this. Hey there, Georgie. Love this guy. All right, so let's switch gears. We're gonna switch gears and talk about The Last of Us. So you have been watching The Last of Us, Meka, am I correct?
This is correct.
This is correct. Yes, I have been watching.
I have.
I've been watching. Matter of fact, hey Meka, this is Dre. Have you been watching The Last of Us? It's back. You gotta change it. You kept your promise.
Click.
Oh
I ain't
my
coming back.
God. Oh my God.
I ain't coming back.
You kept your promise. Okay, you got a grade for the time. Yeah, and for the time period, like I said, again, I'm watching this with fresh eyes because I never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? So he said that's hindsight being 2020. Like for me, seeing it for the first time is actually nostalgia for me. There's nostalgic moments. I'm a fan of Stephen King, so Stephen King doesn't disappoint me in the areas that Stephen King does. Obviously he didn't have involvement in this. I don't know if he had him. Now, let me ask you this before we go to The Last of Us. Did he have involvement with the newer remake?
Yes, because he was in it. He's in it.
Oh, no stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
in most of the Stephen King movies, he always had a cameo.
Yes. Which his cameo was Billy. That was him. You know what I'm saying? The horror writer. Come on now. I know a Stephen King cameo when I see one with his weird looking self. But that's my guy. I enjoy his style, even though his endings are Children of Corn is a prime example of anticlimactic endings. I still enjoy Stephen King's work. So let's get to The Last of Us. And this is an episode breakdown. This is not going to, I'm not going to take long, even though I'm doing a breakdown of the episode with Meka. You've seen it. What is your thoughts about The Last of Us so far? What are you enjoying? What you like? What you don't like? Give us the skinny.
All right, so I ain't never played this video game, so I'm coming in with fresh eyes. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm telling you this show is so good, like it draws you in with emotions. You know what I'm saying? And when's the last and the only time I can really recall being drawn in a show that had such strong emotional episodes was The Walking Dead. You're like, and I haven't watched The Walking Dead. Like I stopped watching Walking Dead after season 9, I think, because it just got cheesy after that. But this show is so good. Like, I mean, and especially this last episode, like, woo! Look, I'm getting teared up just thinking about it.
Okay, so let me do this. Let me share my screen real quick, and we're gonna go over particular parts of the show. Let me see if I can get a better layout. No, that's cool. Again, I never played the video game either, so I'm going into this like it with fresh eyes, and this has literally been one of and I did this with the House of Dragon. I never watched
Game of Thrones.
Oh Lord. I never watched Game of Thrones, and when I watched the House of the Dragon, it made me want to watch Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. That's how good it was.
Right.
So HBO has been killing it. Oh God, with their shows. So this episode was called Endure and Survive, and in this particular episode, they're in Kansas City. And spoiler, if you haven't seen this, spoiler warning, they're in Kansas City. You know what I mean? And none of this looks like Kansas City, but it's cool. It's in Kansas City. And they show in the beginning, they show how Kansas City became a free town for the people. Let me see. Blues House said, "Oh, you missing out. You missing out on not watching Game of Thrones." And I started watching Game of Thrones until I started watching other shows that cover on my channel. So I have to really just watch it just in my own time. And yeah, they're most definitely in Vancouver. Because trust me, I know the ins and out of Kansas City, and none of this looks like it. But we're here with Henry and what's it? With Henry is the Lord, I'm thinking of these dang on kids. Henry and golly, hold on. Now me Google. That's why we got the Googles. I think it's Henry and I can't think of this kid's name right now. Let me see. Lord, okay, is Henry? What is this? Sam. Henry is Sam. Good God, I was about to call the boy Ben because I was thinking about it. So we're and what I like about this episode, it mirrors episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by mirroring episode 3, you see when all hell breaks loose and the progression of the character. And now they focus on this character, and at the end of the episode, listening to the directors and stuff like that, they talk about love is the big theme of The Last of Us because humanity has lost their mind in this. And this was a prime example of humanity losing their mind because the federal or whatever, they get overthrown. Can't see, and the leader is Catherine or whatever her name is.
Yes, Catherine.
Yeah, and she should really be called Karen. You know what I mean? Like seriously, she should be called Karen. She takes over because Henry sells out her brother, Fedra. Thank you, Blue. Fedra. So they take over this town. They become Freetown, but they're worse than Fedra. You know what I mean? Because humanity has lost its damn mind in this dystopian future. And Henry
is the normal thing. That's normal.
Yeah. and Henry sells out, and you're seeing a couple scenes of this here. This is literally what they did. Like, they put knives in this guy. You know what I mean? Because he was part of Fedra. You know, or he was, you know, or I think they
a collaborator.
Yeah, collaborator. You know what I'm saying? A Fedra. You know what I mean? And he's trying to save his brother. And again, this mirrors episode 3 with Bill and Frank because he tried to say he was in the hole. You know, again, just to anyone who's lonely, all you got to do is look down the right hole. You might find your love. But so he finds he sells out Kathleen's brother to get medicine for his son to save his brother. Mm-hmm. And I can't be mad at that. You know what I mean? And like Bill saved Frank, and Bill protected Frank, and Frank protected Bill. This is what the themes I'm starting to see. Those go into Joel and Ellie. Mm-hmm. The theme of what do you do when you love someone so much? What would you sacrifice? So this is a prime example. This part right here is a prime example of where humanity is at right now. You understand, especially with love. What did you think about this opening part of the show?
I thought it was like it is exactly what you expected when the end of the world happens. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you seeing this man being dragged down the street. Look, yeah. When people of power overthrow other people of power, mm-hmm. This is what you get.
Thank you. This is the argument that a lot of people were saying about. I know that you're not big Marvel, but when we talk about Killmonger, this is what it would have looked like. You know what I mean? If he would have gotten the power. You know what I mean? Right. So we got to be cautious with this. Now, I love this. This is the reason why If this is again, what I like about this, they're taking very close elements of the source material and tweaking certain things. This kid is deaf.
Mm-hmm.
Like the real life actor is deaf.
Yeah.
And they have to learn ASL,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, to be able to communicate. Dude, I felt even, like I felt a connection with this kid, because I'm looking at it like, if I'm Henry and my brother, for one, had leukemia and he's deaf and he's just a kid,
Yeah.
what would I do do you know what I mean? How much would I sacrifice to save this child? You know what I mean? And he can't hear the clickers. He's deaf. He can't hear Fedra. If I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. And again, I did not play the game. He's not deaf in the game, but they made him deaf. That made me love the character even more. Like, I feel him on this. Like, I can't help but feel a certain type of way, because I would do the same thing. What do you think?
Most deaf. Like, when I saw his brother was signing to him, I was like, oh, this kid gotta survive. Oh, this kid gotta live. Like, I'm gonna be really upset if this goes wrong. Like, and I wasn't just invested in him. I was invested in both of them.
Both of them, yeah. Both of them.
Like, there's, you could tell, like, he loved his brother a lot, and
yes,
and for him to have to be deaf, it makes it 10 times harder. You know what I'm saying, in a post-apocalyptic world, to care for him, you know what I'm saying? But he still did it, like, he could have been like, F it, you know what I'm saying? Clickers got you, because you couldn't hear him,
Right.
No, he took care of his brother.
And episode 3 and episode 5, because everybody was so caught up in episode 3, which I get. It was a standalone story. Episode 3 is what the theme of the show is about. What would you do for love? You'll try anything if you don't give up. In a world, if you only knew, I do the things that you should not do. Shout out to Bobby Caldwell. But anyway, but if that was what would you do for love? Then you get to hear, and I'm going to play this in. Of course, I got the volume turned off. Fair use. You know what I'm saying? Please, HBO, I want to be a part of y'all. This is what you do when you don't. Look at old Catherine over here. Look at old Catherine. I'm not going to lie. Her voice and her mannerisms do not match, because I'm not going to lie. She's ruthless. Mm-hmm. But she talks like this. And she like, hey, all you got to do is give them up. Hey, what does it mean? What do you mean? I'm like, and again, episode 4 was part 1 of this part 2. Mm-hmm. So when I'm like, ain't nobody gonna follow this lady until she shot the doctor in episode 4. And I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah, she's kind of gangster. I'm selling her short. You know what I mean? So in this scene, she comes in, and she's looking for the people who is selling out to Fedra. You know what I'm saying? And the way that she went about this, I'm not gonna lie, was so dope. I'm not gonna hold her. What did you think about it? Okay, now, what did you think about her character? And I heard one reviewer say that she was kind of unnecessary. We didn't care about her story. What did you think about her story and the way she was like them telling why she was like that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. She wasn't that intimidating to me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like nothing against the stereotype, but had this guy been the person telling them like, hey, I'm trying to get the information out of you. Hey, bro, so he up on 87th. Hold up. You're like, I'm giving him information.
And he's the he's the voice actor and the character model for Joel's brother in the video games. So they cast him in this role, And when you hear him talking, and I you know, like um heavy spoilers, when I watch them, they do the side by sides, hear his voice, and then hearing him in the video game. I'm like, oh my god! So yes, that's the brother in the video game. But go ahead.
But no, like Catherine to me wasn't intimidating at all, and I guess that's the whole thing behind it is. But to me, I honestly think she was an unnecessary character, but she's part of the Henry story. So we wouldn't even gotten the Henry story if it wasn't for quote unquote her story. But I honestly didn't care. I mean, this actress is in everything, and everything that she's in, I just get immediately annoyed. Like I hate her voice.
Well, here you go, lady. People hate your voice, so you got to go. And she gets her comeuppance. Now, again, I'm a big story guy, so there was a duality. This is what I did like, and I know a lot of people like she was unnecessary, but what I like is Henry, Sam, Joel, Ellie, Bill, Frank, her and her brother. What are you doing for love? You see what I mean? Yeah. And you know, because in a heartbeat, she's killing those people because they took her brother and they killed him.
Yeah.
So she's doing it. She's not any different than what anybody else in this world would do for their loved one. You know what I'm saying? And it's really the loss of humanity. So I wasn't really mad about her character per se, and I'm kind of skipping or whatever because I'm not gonna go scene by scene. But this is just the easiest way, so they're not it's not buffering too hard. But yeah, you know what I mean? I think, and these are a lot of dark scenes too. But that's what I kind of liked about the story, because you're seeing the duality of these people trying to survive in a world where you get a fungus and it turns you to a hideous humanoid monster. You know what I mean? So and then everyone else around you is just trying to eat, and they're monsters. And technically, and I'm not trying to compare the two, but during the pandemic, people really rush out and try to buy all the toilet paper, all the hand sanitizer, all the chicken, all the hog maws, all the pig feet. And nobody else can.
Why did I know this joke was coming? I knew this joke was coming.
But they had a shortage of chicken wings, but there were plenty of legs. There's plenty of chicken out there. They had a shortage of chicken wings. Just stupid stuff. Shortage of toilet paper. You know what I mean? Because everybody got greedy. So just think if it's literally like. And again, they keep showing flashbacks. Episode 1 showed you the flashback of what a pandemic can look like and what the people will act like. We literally see I saw a 1% glimpse of what it could look like. That's why I like this show, because it's literally showing humanity at its lowest point, where we don't even care about each other at all. We would do anything to survive and to take care of our loved ones. So that's why I like this. I like this. Now, this particular scene, Henry and Sam is meeting up with the doctor who gets his, who gets deleted, you know what I'm saying, in the next episode. You know what I mean? Or in the previous episode. So they're just really showing the backstory of him. So let me kind of skim through some of this. And again, this is showing, and I'm gonna let this play out. You know what I mean? He's given hope, literally hope, to his brother. And at the end of it, only thing you can do is give somebody hope. Well, what is up, SSJK in the house? What is up, my brother? You know what I'm saying? And to me, she was a major motivator, and she was. You know what I'm saying? I think Grace said, yeah, right. Had me in the fields. I'm trying to catch back up with some of the comments. This was the best episode far. Man, we're going to get to the ending. We're going to get to that ending. I was rocking with Henry because I already saw him die in your honor first season. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And this is your first favorite episode so far. Yeah. What I do like, is what we would do. We say, "Do I look scared?" Look at that face. He's terrified. But we're playing the brave soldier for him. Like really, you know what I mean? And I do understand kind of where he's coming from. Um, you got your little brother who's scared to death, and he's deaf. He really doesn't know what's going on, and he's trying to comfort him the best way possible by lying. And how many times have we lied to put on a brave face to someone we cared about? You know what I mean? Like, look at, I say this, that is great writing, because a lot of us would literally play the brave soldier just to make somebody feel better about themselves, knowing we're terrified. We would do that with our kids. We would do that with with our loved ones. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. You know what I mean? And it was kind of cool. I heard that they were using the same type of font that they use in the video games when you do the closed captioning. And right here, I believe this is where he gives him the coloring book and stuff like that, or he starts drawing the crayons and stuff like that, so you can start drawing himself as a hero. And I'm not gonna lie, man, this got me. This right here. All he wanted to do is save it, save people. And this is what I talk about good storytelling. Good storytelling to me does not have to be a lot of exposition. Visual storytelling is key. This right here, this dog, especially because it ties into the end. Oh my God, this show is so good. This show is so good. So let's skip a little far, man. Just all of this, and remember, we see Joel and Ellie in this. This was 10 days prior,
right?
And we see, you know what I'm saying, Joel and Ellie in the same thing. And this is and I do like this. This is from the different point of view. This is Henry and Sam seeing what Joel and Ellie is going through with the shootout. So right. I do like this part because it gives us, you know what I'm saying, their viewpoint of something that we already saw, which again, visual storytelling, you know what I mean, is key, because without this part, to me, it will be lackluster to, again, the why. Why did they go over and talk to Joel and Ellie? Why did they didn't perceive them as a threat? You know what I'm saying? If they just met them without seeing his viewpoint of Joel and Ellie getting in a shootout with the other free people of Kansas City, then we wouldn't know why would he even engage in a conversation or even go on a mission with this guy. You know what I'm saying? We missing this part. So I absolutely love the visual storytelling here. Okay, so this is where Henry gives Sam the gun.
Paint his face first. Yeah, paint his face first.
And then he gives him the gun. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, and tell me if you agree with this, why this mirrors Joel and Ellie. Joel and Ellie in episode 4, that at the beginning of that episode, he gives her the gun. And she goes all taxi driver in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Trying to look cool, hype herself up, thinking it's cool, until she actually has to use it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here, he thinks he's a hero. Again, hyping himself up as a hero. Ellie was trying to hype herself up as a hero or some type of badass. He's saying, look, I'm gonna paint your face. You could be a hero. I'm gonna give you a gun too. You see the duality? This is what I like about story. You're seeing the other side of the coin. They don't have no bullets in that gun. You know what I'm saying? They're just playing a part.
Right.
You know what I mean? While Joel and Ellie actually are doing it. You know what I mean? And that's where you get to how much you love someone. You will lie to them and tell them, here's a gun. It's loaded. Which technically the gun he gave him had 3 bullets. He would have had to pull the trigger a few extra times just to get to the bullets. You know what I'm saying? Having a revolver. So again, duality, storytelling, visual storytelling. You can't get any better in storytelling than this in a show.
I have to agree. I gotta agree.
All right, so I'm gonna let this kind of now look at. Let me go back, man. This kid, I'm gonna go. I just got to do this. This kid warms my heart. Oh, it's just this. He just stops and smiles. Look, he giving him the gut. Look at this kid. Look at this. Look at this kid, man. This kid's smile is everything. Is everything. It made me. And again, when I talk about representation, they took 2 black characters that was in the game, showed you to it in live action, and it warms your heart seeing this. To me, now anybody else, they can say that I'm wrong or whatever, but to me, this is how you do representation. You take small characters, you take small areas, and within the story, have them not a lot of dialogue, doing something, and just showing the joy and admiration on his face. This is perfect acting too. Perfect acting. All right, so let me skip up a little bit because this is where I'm gonna skip a little bit and get to the part where they meet Joel and Ellie. So
right there. Yep.
Yeah. So here they meet Joel and Ellie. Now what I like about this part, this is character development for Joel and Ellie too, because Joel gives Henry and Sam food. Remember, he was very, very reserved, but now he's seeing a person that's in the same boat that he's in, and he's now seeing himself like how he's looking at Henry and Sam, the protection part.
Right.
What did you think about that part?
I mean, it basically, to me, it, like you said, it mirrors what Sam and Ellie got going on. I mean, not Sam and Ellie. I'm sorry. What Joel and Ellie got going on. Sorry, but like it mirrors what they have. You know what I'm saying? And Joel was able to see, like, he's same boat as me, trying to take care of, you know, his brother. Okay, but he tried to play the hard ass, but Ellie was just like, yeah, you know, he gonna try to be hard, but don't mind him. You know what I'm saying? Like even Ellie was like, you know, when she introduced herself, like she tapped him, like, "Hey,
yeah,
like introduce yourself."
Right. Now I'm glad it stopped at this part. I'm glad it stopped at this part because he says, "Welcome to Killer City." I think I gotta. First of all, I've been living in KCK and Wyandotte County all my life. I had to full screen this. I'm sorry, this ain't it. I don't know what this is. I don't know what part of the city this is at or anything, but that's not Kansas City. Matter of fact, when you're I'm saying this, you know what I'm saying? When you're in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, when you cross the river, it's downtown Kansas City, Kansas, right? Mm-hmm. So that's across the river. So when they make that comment that they're gonna go across the river down into the sewer drains and get to the others, they're talking about getting to KCK. That ain't KCK. I don't know what that is, but that ain't it. And for someone who was born and raised in Kansas City, Kansas, I am this is the only part I was like, I am disappointed in you. You had one job and you failed me miserably. You could have took a screenshot of Kansas City, Missouri, photoshopped and made it look terrible. I mean, Kansas City, Kansas, our downtown already looks like a dystopian area. No, I'm right. No, if you are from Kansas City, Kansas, You know, when you cross that viaduct, getting into Minnesota, talking to all my KCKans, you're all my Kansas Cityans. You know, when you cross that viaduct, get down to Minnesota, you down over there on Fifth Street or Third Street, or you over there off of if you over there off of Sixth Street, all of that, it don't look good. It don't look good at all. It looks dystopian. It looks like you could have put monsters in there, and boy, the black people would have killed all them monsters anyway. You turn, because that's where the hood is at. No, I'm dead serious. That's where the hood is at. So it's the only gripe I had about this episode. That's not KCK. Let me keep going. What did Blue say? He said that looks like the upper. And man, oh my god, it does look like. Only thing you're missing is the big dome in the Capitol up there. But yeah, that doesn't even look like the West Bottoms. Where's Kipper Arena? Where's the Firestone? The old man. I'm telling you, this is. I'm glad they shout out KC. Glad they shout out KC, but that ain't it. Let me keep going. Let me keep going. I'm about to get all. I'm about to
get emotional
about to get all of my feelings. And he's like, "This is Killer City." No, it ain't. I don't know what that is. So this was a good area too. I'm gonna give props to that, and then I'm gonna move a little forward so we can get to the second act. Get to them when they're in the sewers. What I like about this is that this is the first time since Bill and Frank that Joel has opened up to another person, another adult.
Yes.
Now he had Tess, you know what I'm saying, but now he has Ellie, and he opened up to him, was like, if you got a plan, if you go there, I'm willing to listen. But also, this shows how much that Joel is really a badass and was not buying Henry's story. He was with it, but he already knew better. Yeah. He already knew better. He was a step ahead. That was the difference between Henry and Joel. He was already a step ahead of him. So I do like this part. So, but let me skip ahead a little bit and hold on, because I do also like this part where they're in the boardroom and he allowed Sam to be a part of the plan.
Right.
I do like that because it wasn't just about Henry. It's Henry and Sam, and he valued Sam's opinion on what's going on. Now, I'm gonna go here. That little kid is so cute. I'm sorry, that little kid is so cute. But you're seeing Joel and Ellie watch Henry get Sam's opinion about what's going on. Mm-hmm. This is giving character development to Joel so he can start trusting Ellie. And if you notice at the end of when we get to the end, you will see him start trusting Ellie a lot more, valuing her opinion. So let me skip to this part. This is when they go in the tunnels, which again, I don't know if KC. I've never heard. Now the Underground Railroad is in KC. If people don't know, Kansas City, Kansas is a historical landmark. The Underground Railroad ran through the Quindaro, I think they call it the Quindaro ruins. The Quindaro ruins. Quindaro is named after the conquistador. I can't think of his first name, but you know what I'm saying. He was a Spanish conqueror, and that's where our street called Quindaro in KCK. If you go into the back part towards the river, that was where the Underground Railroad is. And a lot of people, because Kansas was a free state, this is kind of like what I do like about them using Kansas City, because historically Kansas City, Kansas Kansas was a free state. Missouri was a slave state, and they used the Missouri River to cross over using the Underground Railroad to get to Kansas to be free. And that's where you have the border war. You have Kansas, Missouri, you know what I'm saying, John Brown's crusade and all of that, because people will come over to Missouri looking for their runaway slaves, because slaves were free in Kansas, and they had a big war over that, over which place was free and which place was a slave state. So there's historical documentation that actually aligns with this story. Kansas City was supposedly to be free, but look at the way they're treating their people. You
Mhm.
go across the water, you get in sanctuary, and that's where they thought they were home free across the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm sorry to go on this historical rant, but yes, I have to point that out. So in the tunnel, you will see a lot of the drawings. This is where kids were going down and hanging out at.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, the clickers were down there too, because the Fedra drove all of the parasite, the clickers and all of that, they drove them underground. And we seen that in the last episode. If you remember, they drove the clickers down there, and you start seeing the whatchamacallit sink, the ground sink,
Right.
and they blew it off.
Yep. Yep.
It was so I know when you seen I know what was you thinking when you seen the ground song, and old Karen Kathleen was like, you know what, it's cool.
It's cool. She's like, it's cool. I'm like, yeah. So we about to head out because
Yeah,
especially because of what happens at the end of this episode.
in the episode. Now let's go into this. I don't know about you, but a good leader would have been like, free state, get 8. Free state, get 8. I'm blowing this mug to pieces.
Exactly.
I'm blowing it up. I am not trying to have no clickers. I'm not trying to get bit, no nothing. But she gets hers in the end, like everybody. Let me keep going. But it is kind of sad to know that this part in this underground sanctuary for people who was escaping, they got 8 children was murdered down there by these clickers. So you know what I'm saying? And this is look at that, knowing that children was there and they felt safe, but they were in cages.
Yeah.
They were literally caged up. You know what I'm saying? But they get to kick it down here for a minute, and that's cool. I'm not going to go through that, but this is again taken from the source material because they did that in the video game. So this kind of underground. So I do like the duality of them using the video game part. And here,
I
Henry
thought this was a
clean.
good moment.
Yes, Henry comes clean and starts to tell the truth. So I did like this moment. This was a good bonding moment for Joel's character.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate to say it's the power of love. And started to understand what the power of love was. So yes, I all right, T'Challa. So T'Challa the dog is he wants something to say too. So yes, this was and I agree with you. This was a good moment. In this moment, what was you kind of thinking as far as like the characters? Was you thinking this was good character development for Henry, for Joel, for everyone? What did you think about this moment here?
So because Joel found out that Henry was a collaborator, it felt like Henry had to come clean about why he did what he did.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It kind of talk about that too, about, because I didn't cover it. Talk about his role as a collaborator. I mean, I kind of briefly talked about it with him getting the medicine, but going a little bit in depth about him being a collaborator and Joel feeling like he was a rat, and then now coming clean. Kind of talk about that a little bit.
So in the beginning, when he first comes across Henry, Henry tells him that, I was a collaborator, and Joel's like, whoa, like, hey, look, snitches get stitches. Like he was about to abandon them until he saw the dynamic between Henry and Sam. And like you said, Joel was 2 steps ahead of Henry the whole damn time. Like, but then we get to this scene, and they're actually sitting there, and Henry's like, look, I know you're judging me because I'm a collaborator, but let me tell you why I did it. And when Joel hears why he did it, you can see that shift in his mind, like, shoot, I would have did the same thing if it was my kid.
Facts. And remember, again, we're talking about the dualities. He had his daughter, and he would have did anything if he could have saved his daughter from being shot by the military when the outbreak first happened. So
Right.
now he's seeing Henry and Sam, Billy and Frank. I'm talking about all of these little tidbits that's helping the character continue to do certain things that's bringing him close to Ellie, and now
Right.
feeling more of a protector. So yes, I agree with you. He would have did the same thing to save his daughter.
Right. And so you see like during this scene that Joel is just like, he's doing what he doing what he has to do for his little brother. You know what I'm saying? Anybody would do that, you know? It was at the cost of somebody else's family member, yes.
Yes,
But I
it
mean, it's an
it's
apocalyptic world.
right. You know, I mean, it is true. It's this dog eat dog world, but you got to do what you got to do. And what I do like, again, going off visual storytelling. Look at Pedro Pascal's eyes.
Yeah.
He's telling this story, and he's when I love it. You know, me being a former actor. You know, HBO. Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? You want me to be a clicker? You want me to be? I have to take a small part. I get shot. Just holla at your boy. I need to get back in the game. But what I do like is visual. There's facial storytelling too. He's telling them the story, and this is him reflecting not only on him and Ellie, but his daughter.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's a thinking moment. Like, wow,
Yeah.
I would have did the same thing. I can't be mad.
Yep.
I'm trusting this kid a little more. Maybe I need to be a little bit more trusting.
Yes.
That look right there. This is why I love Pedro Pascal. Ever since I again, I didn't watch Game of Thrones, so I know he came from Game of Thrones. He came from some other shows, but The Mandalorian is where I discovered Pedro Pascal. And then Wonder Woman 1984, but I'm not going to talk anything about that movie. But anyway, this here is acting 101 with your eyes. This is acting with your eyes, and that right there, oh, golly, is going to make me start making me think about the end of this episode. Oh my God. Okay, so we get here, and now Kathleen is telling her story, but the only part I didn't like about this, because she's telling her story, and I get it, but you're a horrible person. So I'm thinking, was your brother worth saving? Because if you're just as horrible as he is, if he's like you, y'all both horrible, and he got what he deserved. And of course, he's like, you changed everything. Your brother didn't. So maybe her brother was probably more diplomatic, showed more diplomacy, and she's ruthless. But somebody got to go. And to me, you can tell me the sob story all you want, but you're a horrible human being. So I was waiting for her to get shot. I kind of wanted him to do it, but I knew that wasn't part of the story. So
Yeah, look, I was waiting for him to do it too and take over, but whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, they followed her, but I wouldn't have followed her. She looked like somebody I would argue with at Target that's behind me. But anyway, let's get to. Okay, so now they cross over. I'm not gonna lie, I love this part where they cross over. They're walking, they're having a good time, and they get busted on. They get busted on because it's one of those moments in characters where we feel like, yeah, we made it, and then bam. And now I'm not gonna lie, certain parts of this, if it wasn't hilly, reminds me, because I don't think you've ever been into. Have you ever been to Kansas City before?
No. I mean, I have, but it was like in passing.
So there is in KCK, there's a place when you cross over. There's a historical place called Strawberry Hill. Strawberry Hill is where a lot of Croatians came and established a little small town called Strawberry Hill. But it's very hilly, right? And there's other parts of KCK that's very like you go up and it's down, and you go up and it's down. There's not. They think Kansas is just flat, and it's really not when you go over to certain areas.
Right.
So this kind of little bit remind me of certain areas you go into KCK, and it's not as hilly, and the houses look just like it. So I do like this part. It kind of, they got me back on track with the whole KC thing. You know what I mean? But they get busted at. Old man Willie is up there with the gun, but
Not
Joel
old man Willie
is old man Willie. So Joel is smart because he's they never established it. I know his brother is former military, but they never really established if he's former military, but he knows that this guy is a crap shot. So they're shooting at him. I'm get to old man Willie. You know what I'm saying? And Joel being the badass that he is, he goes and disarms old man Willie. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to do it, but he's like, go.
Man, he's like, don't do it, bro. Like,
yeah,
don't do it. Make me do this.
Don't you make me do it. And he did it. So, we get to that part. Now, this is straight out the video game because he does this in the video game. So this is straight out the video game, which is cool because we're talking about a show that this is this well written and it's a video game.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally a video game. So we go all video game ish, and then this is when
all hell breaks loose.
All hell breaks loose. And I gotta let this play because this is where the cats from Kansas City, Freetown, all of them, they come in, they got the run truck. They just, we're seeing it now. It explodes. You know what I mean? Because Joel, being the good shot that he is, he shot the guy in the truck. So he shoots them. The truck blows up, and I gotta let this play out. Because now I do like Henry going to go save Ellie. That was awesome. They go high, just a straight video game stuff. I gotta let this play out. Now, again, I'm not gonna sit there and let that part play out because she was monologuing. I would have been.
You know what? Every villain does that.
Yes.
Let me monologue real quick before I try to kill you.
The villain monologue is going on right now. And hold on. I'm trying to get to the part.
She's like, gang, you killed my brother. You gotta go.
you shot my brother, man. Pop. You broke my nose.
And then the crazy part about it was she was gonna kill Sam. Like,
she was gonna kill Sam, a kid. So Henry was gonna give himself up. You know what I'm saying? She should have just shot him right then and there. She could have just look at this. You shot my brother. I got a team full of dudes with guns. You gotta go. Yeah, I'm not monologuing. I'm not monologuing. As soon as you come out, you lunch me. You are lunch me. So he goes out in typical fashion. The villain monologues, and to myself, I'm like, bring on the. And first of all, you're not gonna shoot me like this. You're not gonna raise your gun like this. You know what I'm saying? If you don't square your shoulders out and hold that gun tight, you're not gonna shoot me like you getting ready to. She's shooting like dude in Lord have mercy. What is the movie? Harlem Nights.
Oh,
she's shooting like dude in Harlem Nights. Because look how she up there, and this is the part I literally lost it. Because I'm like, oh yeah. And look at his face. Because we know what's going, and I gotta let this ride. Because look what's gonna happen. What's that? What's going on? What's happening? Oh snap. What's coming out the ground? I would have shot dude. Look at that. Oh my God.
Now remember, this is coming from the person that said, meh.
Yeah, that ain't no big deal.
Good.
They came out in droves. You're like, all right, let's get up out of here.
Grab the kids.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They came out in droves. This was my favorite part because I've been waiting for the monsters. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting for the monsters. And what's crazy, I know that sound affects them. The gunshots, and none of them is like looking around like, yeah, yeah. I'll accept it because this is based on they're cannon fodder anyway, so they're supposed to get murdered. So I'm not even going to think about it that hard.
Now
You
let's
know what
talk
I
about how
mean?
badass Joel was shooting monsters
Joe
as they were going after Ellie. I mean, after
Joe
Ellie, yeah, like
Joe was amazing as a you know what I'm saying, as a crack shot. You know what I'm saying? He's over there. I'm talking about literally. You do this. I was playing Walking Dead at Dave and Buster's, and you got to do that. Like you see somebody get ate, you got to shoot them in the head. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Exactly this. Now, this is where it gets gangster. This is where it gets gangster because the bloater comes out, and I'm talking about through the fire, through the wind, and through the wire.
I
Oh
can't.
my god, yo,
I ain't gonna lie. He came
HBO.
out that hole. I was like,
It,
yeah, it's a done
that's
deal for anybody.
yeah, it's
Any and
done.
everybody. Done deal.
And HBO, I'm making a second pitch. I can be a bloater. I can be a clicker. I'm just saying, how do I get on? That's all I need to. How do I get? Been on TMZ. How do I get on? I'm a good actor. so the bloater comes out. You can't. I'm talking about he wrecked shop. And for what I understand, the bloater is a guy who's been infected for more than 20 years. And that's basically the final form. And you just can't blow him up with regular weapons because he has too much of the fungi on him. So he's basically a human fungi.
Ugh.
Yeah. So okay. So I want to get past this part a little bit because hold up. I kind of want to like go here because I just want to see her get ate.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the child clicker.
Yeah. I was
But
like,
we didn't
oh,
talk about how homeboy got ripped up apart. Like he was just
he
like,
did, but since I liked him, I didn't want to see him. I kind of was like, man, they have to fatality him. Man, I kind of liked him. You know what I mean? But I was waiting for her to get murdered. But look at that. That's chaotic. Now
yeah.
that's this is the final scene of all the people who was in Kansas City in that Freetown, and they let it go to hell because they couldn't do one good thing, and that's to destroy the monsters when they had a chance. Destroy these clickers while you got a chance. Now, this is where it gets real. This is where it gets real.
This is where it gets real.
Yeah, this is where it gets real. And again, character development wise, Joel and Henry is having a moment. And again, it's these small details that I really like that is great character development. And I'm not gonna and he's just basically, saying, hey, look, I was scared, I didn't have a plan. This is where it gets real. You know what I'm saying? Is that Sam and Ellie is having a moment. And I want to get to that moment because you know what I'm saying, she's she's going off a comic, and the comic this is an actual comic in the Last of Us game. And they talk about endure and survive in the game. So that's awesome that you're still using this from the actual show. And she was telling him to endure and survive too. So this part was amazing. Now I want to go to the part, and it says, "Have you ever been scared?" And I kind of like this because again, there's no communication. Is literally how they will communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually comes from the video game. This actual scene comes from the video game. Actually, all of this comes from the video game. This last scene. And again, I want to just get to the scene and then I'm gonna get to the last part. And I can't really show the last part because of YouTube. But this is good character development. And what I like about this is good. This is good character development for Ellie because Ellie has to learn how to be a badass herself. She has to learn how to basically grow up in this world.
Right.
But again, this kid needs all the roles. He needs all the roles because this kid, I'm talking about literally his little face, everything. Oh my God, this is me being a daddy.
Oh.
This is the daddy in me coming out.
Oh.
It was like it's if you turn into a monster inside, are you still you? And this is when she finds out he was bit.
He got bit.
He got bit. And
the crazy part is I think I saw the moment he got bit.
Yeah. And what I like what this was also, again, this is foreshadowing because Ellie thinks she's the cure because she has blood that's immune to the fungi. Right. That's why she could get bit multiple times and nothing happens. And she found out the hard way. And this is her cutting herself and trying to save him. She says her blood is medicine. That's what she wrote down. Mm-hmm. And again, remember I was talking about the theme of hope? Yeah. We'll lie because we're giving someone hope, even though we don't know the actual truth. Mm-hmm. This was her moment. This was her Henry moment when Henry was giving Sam hope that they could survive through this and they'll be okay.
Yeah.
That Sam was a superhero. This is her feeling like she's a hero. And getting a harsh reality that maybe you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're really not. It's a little bit more complicated than just that. You know what I'm saying? So let's skip through this. Because I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of heartbreaking. This is kind of heartbreaking. I think it's the one last thing that that he's gonna write down. That's I seen that. I like little man ain't gonna make it. Little man ain't gonna make it. And I'm not gonna lie. Doesn't this mirror Bill and Frank? Because what did Bill tell him? Bill was like, Frank wanted to take those pills and just end it.
And go to sleep by himself.
And he said, I'm not gonna let you go to sleep by yourself.
Yep.
If I'm gonna go, if you're gonna go, I'm gonna go with you.
Yep. Yeah.
And
he basically like, I live my life. We're good. I'm good.
And all he wanted was somebody to stay with him.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing the outcome could be bleak, he wasn't optimistic. He just said, "Stay awake with me." Oh man, this is so
a tearjerker.
Look at this little boy. And man, look at this little boy. And again, this kid, visual storytelling. She thinks she has the cure, so she's not tripping. She's optimistic. She's looking at through a childlike eyes. And for the first time in this series, she is looking at things in a childlike manner. Right. Because as kids, we have hope. We don't know that there's monsters, real life monsters out there. We think everything is butterflies and rainbows, and if I skin my knee, somebody's gonna come save me. You get that harsh reality that everybody's not meant to be saved. Oh man, golly, I'm breaking this. Oh. Woo. Woo. And then she wakes up. And he's just sitting there. And Remember, she can't
This
call
is
out
when
to
I had
him.
hope.
Yeah.
This is
I
when I
had
had
hope
hope.
too. I
I had
too.
hope.
And it went down the hill. I'm not
Fast.
gonna it went
Fast.
down. And yeah,
Yeah, you can't
I'm
show the rest of this.
I'm going
You can't show
to
the rest of this.
I'm just gonna stop it here because I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to cry. I'm at work watching this, putting parts onto a machine, trying not to cry. Because he's literally Joel is flipped. Joe is trying to save Ellie. Henry is trying to save his brother, but he got to do what he got to do. And he shot his brother.
He didn't want Joel to do it.
He didn't want Joel to do it.
He didn't want Joel to do it.
He wanted to do it himself. Again, mirroring Bill. I kept telling the Bill and Frank story will be mirrored throughout this show. Right. And right there is Bill and Frank 2.0.
Yeah.
Is Bill and Frank, because after he shoots him, I think I can play a little bit over it, but I'm not going to show the part where, I'm going to leave it right there. Yes. He shoots his brother, and then he deletes himself.
After he has
that moment.
He has that moment. A mental breakdown. Yes.
That
and he's
moment.
Just like, what have I done? Like, what did I do? Like, I didn't protect my brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he thought he was going to protect his brother, right?
He thought he was going to protect his brother. So because his brother did end up turning, he has this mental breakdown where he's just like, what did I do wrong? Like, how did, like, basically, like, how did this happen? It's my fault. It's my fault that this happened, and because he has so much grief and anguish over this, like you said, he deleted himself because his brother was his brother was the reason why he was living.
And that's the theme of episode 3. He gave him purpose to live. And now there's nothing to live for. We've seen it with Bill and Frank. We've seen it with Henry and Sam. Now it's going to be the purpose now for Joel is to protect Ellie at all costs. That is his purpose.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And again, visual storytelling is at its finest right here. And then we leave, and I'm glad it cut, because now we go to them digging a grave, and they buried them. I was surprised with this, that they buried them. And this was a hard scene. And what's crazy, now you see Joel a little bit more emotional. And what I mean by emotions, like he wasn't like boohoo crying, but you could tell on his face this hit hard.
Right.
And Ellie was the one like, come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm done. Let's go. And reality sat in for her in this moment. You know what I'm saying? This was basically a mirror of Joel and Tess when she had to blow herself up to save them. And, she like, let's go. Okay, I'm good. And you could tell now, you know what I'm saying? It hit for her.
Right.
And
like that realization that, you know what I'm saying? Like, people keep telling her she's the cure. And she fully believed that. And like you said, in a childlike mind, like, I can save you. But when it didn't happen, reality set in and that hardness came back.
Right. And now reality set in for Joel, because now he knows his purpose. This is 2 times he has seen, 3. Tess, Joel, Henry and Sam, and Bill and Frank. And now that letter makes a lot more sense to him, that Frank left him. You know what I'm saying? Have something to protect. Right. And now that protection is now Ellie. So I'm not gonna lie. This was very, like I said, this was very well written. Very well written.
I have to agree.
And again, people, I like episode 3. This was up there with episode 3. I don't care what nobody said. We got the monsters. You know what I'm saying? We got the duality. We got to spend some time with Henry and Sam. And a lot of people like we could have cut Kathleen's story out and what she had to do and could have just stayed with these characters. And I'm like, technically, no. I honestly like the fact that, they kind of sold her story. So not to humanize her. I mean, it did kind of humanize her, but to be able to show what people would do for love. And I like that part. And I appreciate that with the storytelling. So I absolutely love this episode. And I can't wait for episode 6. So yeah. All right. What did you got any closing statements for me? Is Blue still in here? Because I don't know if Blue's still in here. I wanted him just to come on just for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna wrap it up. We on the 2-hour mark, and
Wrap that gavel up, B.
You know what? I'm gonna have to get Blue in here on one of these weekends. I'm not working. He's here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what? I'm just want to bring him on just for 5. Okay. All right. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm gonna invite you. I'm about to invite you in, just to say what's up, because I don't want you to be like, hey man, hey young blood, he over there taking my co-worker, blood, young blood. No, and
not young blood. Why you sound like you?
70 Black Exploitation show. So click the link, Blue, and I'm gonna bring you in. We're like, yeah, young blood. You know what I mean? Why you over here on my side of town, young blood? I ain't got nothing to do with that though, cuz.
It ain't even that.
It ain't that serious. He said, oh, okay. I already know how it is to get to the computer.
So,
okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I will say that this episode, definitely like episode 3, it definitely was one of those ones that, it took it. It's almost like what The Walking Dead should have been like in the first season. Like it should have been one of those things where you realize that everybody is still human, right? And like you said, the theme throughout this whole series is, what would you do for the person that you love?
Mm-hmm.
What would you do for that person in order to survive what's going on in the world right now?
Yeah.
And it started out with Joel trying to save his daughter.
Yes.
He couldn't save his daughter. He tried to save Tess. Tess didn't make it, right?
Right.
But then we get the Bill and Frank story, which I thought that was so beautifully written.
Yes.
And this episode too, and like you said, even with Kathleen and her brother, what would you do for love? I'm about to murder everybody.
Everybody gotta go.
Everybody gotta die. But you know what I'm saying? So like, I love that the writers of this show are sticking with the source material, even for us that have never played the video game before.
It's making me want to buy the video game
right?
and
Like
play it.
My best friend was like, you gotta go, like after you finish watching the series, like this first series, first season, she's like, go play the game. And right. I was like, yo, I'm seriously like contemplating like spending the money to go play this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking about it like that too. Like, yo, I would love to play this game. And because people say that this is one of the best video games of all time. Like I guess it's not role playing, but it's one of those yeah, I guess they say that like one of those type of role-playing games where you're the character and you got to navigate
RPG.
through all this. Yeah, role-playing games. So you got to navigate through all of this type of stuff. And so I do appreciate this. I do appreciate this show a lot.
Yeah, and especially because, a lot of us are coming in not knowing the video game, what I'm saying? For this to be written the way that it is, when I tell you, this is probably one of the few shows that I've seen in the last couple of years that has actually got me drawn in. Like I was ready. I was ready. Like they were like, hey, they ain't gonna be no episode on Sunday. Wait, hold on. Wait, pause. What? Because of who? Because of the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, because of the Super Bowl.
And they was like, but they was like, wait. We're gonna give it to you on Saturday. And I was like, okay. I just want to make sure I was still getting my episode, because if y'all would have been like, y'all not getting your episode until after the Super Bowl, I really would have been like, flip this whole table over.
So yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I'm enjoying The Last of Us anyway. Well, man, Blue is in the house. Let's get Blue in here for a little bit. You know, he done stuck around for the duration. What's going on, my man Blue?
Yo, what it do?
Hey,
What it do? Yes, indeed.
See, Blue was gonna come in here like, hey man, what you doing there, partner, with Meka G? You know she's part of this side of the river.
Nah,
Jack.
man, I be telling the branch that I love seeing Meka out here doing big things like that.
Yeah, because like last week it was Sunday. I didn't have to work any overtime. Like today I worked overtime, and I do not know how I'm surviving right now. But last week I didn't have to work overtime, and I'm like, man, I'm just get on and just do an impromptu show. Just want to chat. She got on, and we start talking about horror movies. I'm like, you know what? I've never seen that. Let's talk about it.
That's my horror aficionado right there.
Yeah,
when I need to know some horror stuff, hey, man, it's somebody else I need to get you in contact with too. Her name is Horror Freak, and Freak is spelled Freq. That's the one who I went up against and lost unceremoniously.
See, I'm not what I'm talking about.
The thing is, I held my own. All right, Dre Mac. So, it's a game show, little game show thing that I did. First round was like lightning round. You had to just spit it out. And we was going. And then I just drew a blank. And if you don't answer in 10 seconds, it go to them. But the second round I did good. Third round I beat her. You know what I'm saying? But she had already demolished me the first round. So I was playing catch up the whole time. But it was fun though, man.
Was it just horror, or what was it?
No, it was everything. It was everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, she just specializes. I don't want to say she specializes in horror, but horror is like her thing. Kind of like Meka, what's the homegirls?
The Real Sisters.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna link you up because she got some good stuff going on right now, and she does like the old like Blackula and
yeah, Meka need to be on that show.
Yeah,
Meka need to be on that. Because man, but I remember watching Blackula on there was a channel.
Now you talking funny, Dre Mac. You was laughing at it.
Blackula. Blackula's hilarious.
He laughs at horror movies, and I'm like, okay, yeah, so I do too a little bit. But when you see this stuff as a kid, like I said, when I saw it as a kid, I literally walked in the middle. It
never scared me. It never. Well, again, when I was a kid, I used to kick it with my cousins. Bear, rest in peace, my cousin Bear. Marcus, rest in peace with my cousin Sherman too. Trisha, all of us. We would sit on Saturdays. I'd go over to their house. We'll watch horror movies all night. We're talking about Killer Clowns from Outer
Night.
I'm talking about
stay up all night.
We said, but I was never scared because I'm almost desensitized to all of this stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacres, the old tapes, the old ones. Remember, they were B-rated. You know what I'm saying? We were watching Cujo, Christine. What's the other one? I said this was Firestarter, Prom Night.
Just all was nothing but blood and gore.
Thank you. So
blood and gore. That's all.
So when I'm watching this, I'm like, yo, this is hilarious to me. You know what I mean?
You haven't seen it though.
But that's what I said. I was like, you grew up in the same time we grew up. So how you not see this?
Right, especially with it being like a TV movie too. It wasn't like
since this came out. This came out in 1990.
1990.
Was it
1990?
89. It was 90.
Yeah, 1990. So particularly at that time, I think I'm at 10. my uncle started shifting me to pro-black films. So I went to go see Do the Right Thing on my 10th birthday. People ask me like, why are you so pro-black? I went to go see Do the Right Thing at 10 at the dollar show for my birthday. And I've been like that ever since. You know what I mean? So I started watching a lot of the, you know what I'm saying, White Man Can't Jump, all of the Spike Lee joints and stuff like that. So I kind of wasn't into that. And then Ninja Turtles was out at that time, Ninja Turtle fan. So I kind of like deviated away from that. But again, Child's Play and all of that, I was anything Freddy, watched all of that. So you know, I kind of miss out on that. But again, I'm glad I seen it as an adult because I can appreciate the nostalgia of the 80s. Yeah. I can appreciate Tim Curry because man, oh my Lord.
Tim Curry is the man.
He was amazing. And I could tell that's where Mark Hamill got his Joker voice from.
Probably. I wouldn't say he didn't get it from that, but
yeah, but I could tell a lot of inspiration.
I'm pretty sure it was some
It's some inspiration there. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a fun fact. Tim Curry was supposed to be the Joker because he played it, and they cast Mark Hamill because Tim Curry couldn't do it. He ended up being on Peter Pan and the Pirates of Neverland.
That was my show back in the day too. Yes. I think I don't remember that show.
Yes. Yeah,
that was fun.
He ended up being Captain Hook, and if you listen to Captain Hook and you go back and listen to Joker, some similarities. So yeah.
Oh, so last fact, since you mentioned the Joker, so there is an Indian remake of it. It's called Woh, W-O-H, and instead of calling him Pennywise, they call him the Joker.
The Joker.
Wow.
Why did you know that though?
Wow.
So it follows the same premise of the movie or whatever, but the end of it, the kids defeat the Joker, but then they find out that his spirit has transformed into that of a 7-year-old child.
What type of Indian? Like Bollywood?
No, not Bollywood.
Okay.
Because
not Bollywood.
Can you imagine them doing a dance number?
They dancing in it.
So also back to what I was saying, like them originally making this a 10 episode series, right? So the Indian version of this remake is 52 episodes long.
Okay, so they just had time on it.
They was like, yo, like we're going to dissect this whole damn book.
They literally pulled an anime on us with that.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all got time, go watch the 52 episodes of Woh.
I'm good.
How long is the episodes though?
I don't know. Like I was gonna Google it just to see what it was about, and I'm pretty sure you can probably find those episodes on YouTube floating around somewhere.
That's how, because the internet so was not working with Vudu, so I had to go watch the first half on YouTube. Like there were like 10-minute clips. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's how my son watched Boys in the Hood. Like, I don't know why he went to YouTube to watch Boys in the Hood, but he did, and I was like, "What you doing?" He was like, "I'm watching Boys." So I'm sitting down watching it, and then it ended, and I was like, "What are you watching this on?" He was like, "YouTube." I said, "Why are you doing that?"
I mean, you can watch everything on YouTube. We watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on YouTube.
Yeah, but the clips, breaking it up into segments is
copyright strike.
True,
but it's free on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
the whole movie.
I would say now. Y'all remember Master P's movies? He did some movie where he was a half son of an Italian gangster.
No, that was
The Last Dine.
Yeah, The Last Dine.
The Last Dine. I watched that on YouTube. They showed everything because there's no copyright on that movie, because if it passed a certain period of time, then anybody can. It's free to use. Right. So they're not the owner. I watched that. The game is to be sold. The only thing that's not on there is I About It. Because I was looking for that one.
Oh, no, you ain't letting them about it.
You're not going to find that. You gotta go hit the bootleg up to the bootleg. To the back up bootleg.
About It was bootleg. What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying.
For real. So yeah. So I watched MP MP the Last Night because I'd never seen that. I
Mhm.
just remember back senior year when he was promoting that the album, he
Right.
promoted the movie, and I'm
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
where can I? And all the hood radio, the hood CD stores and all of that had it.
Posters
It was like
everywhere.
40,
Yeah.
yeah, posted everywhere. It's like $40 to get the CD and the movie.
Yeah, man.
Good times, man.
I
Good
remember that.
times. Good
Yeah.
time. That movie is very stupid, but good
Have you
time.
seen Hot Boys?
Oh yeah, I seen Hot Boys when it came out.
I
Yeah.
seen Hot Boys.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like
Matter of fact, it was
out
on
of all the
Tubi.
masterpiece movies
That was
they
one of the
did,
better ones.
yeah, that was one of the better ones. Hot Boys looked like it was actually well, I don't want to say well written, but thought out at least.
It
You
was
know
thought
what I
out.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Foolish is I'm gonna be real with you. Foolish is my favorite Master P movie because I was a former comedian. Shout out to my man, Charles
Mhm.
Allen. Shout out to him. I understood that movie from start to finish being a comedian.
Yeah.
Like the premise and all that. I was like, and then Eddie Griffin was amazing in that. Master P is hardly in that movie. It's really
Right.
an Eddie Griffin movie. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? To give him some shine and give him his kudos. So, but yeah, as
on a little run right there though.
he was on his run. Yeah. He
That's
was
when
on
he
his
started.
run.
What was that? Undercover Brother and all of that. He went on a little run.
Yeah, he was on his run. Dave
Dave
Chappelle
Chappelle
was
was
in
in
that.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, that was cool. So yeah, man. It's cool to get you guys in here. Of course. When you first follow my channel, because I'm just now getting used to and I'm not saying just now, like in the last like 3 to 4 months, getting used to my YouTube studio and finding out who's following and who's this and
Yeah.
all that because sometimes it don't show you. You
Nah.
just see somebody
YouTube
pop
is
up.
whack.
Yeah, show somebody popping up. I'm like, yo, so I was like going through who's new following me, and I was like, if you got a channel, I'm following you. If you do
Right.
content,
Yeah.
I'm
That's what I try to. That's what I try to do. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I seen you follow me and I went and was watching your show. I'm like, oh man, I dig and see all three of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a former actor myself, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the church, you know what I mean? To the church, you know who you are. Giving me that spot, you know what I mean? But no, I was I'm just, real talk, former actor coming out of high school. Went to LA, trying to pursue my career.
Mhm.
LA is LA, and I came right back here. You know what I mean? I had to get a job, a real job. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all start talking about different movies, and I guess the other guy, Bron, right? Is my
Kobe.
Kobe. I said Bron. Kobe. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Doing his thing and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? I miss those days of doing that. But seeing other black people and white people, not just white people, but seeing black people doing their thing, the same thing that I'm doing, because I was doing relationships and all of that type of stuff for reactions, and I'm like, yo, I want to do my comic stuff, man. All this stuff in here, man. I'm not talking about it. I need to get to my passion. So I'm thankful and blessed that I got to meet you guys. You know what I'm saying? Through YouTube and through Twitter, through Chillmonger and Planet Fanatics and K Dot and all these other, all these other
Creators.
channels, you know what I'm saying? Tim Talk also, you know what I'm saying? Because I kind of felt like, man, ain't nobody gonna really watch this, man. I'm talking about, comics and toys and stuff. Like, man, ain't nobody gonna watch that. And then seeing other people that's doing the same thing that I'm doing gave me hope, man. So I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same thing and showing me love also. So that's me giving y'all flowers.
Oh nah, man. I appreciate it, but it's it's a slow burn with this YouTube stuff and creating and being a creator. It's a slow burn, but I enjoy all of it, man. I mean, me and Meka, we come from before podcasting was podcasting. Me and Meka was podcasting.
We was. Like we was.
So it's I'm being serious. Like before it became a thing. You know what I'm saying? What was the Saturday nights we used to meet up?
Every Saturday. Every Saturday night, 3045 TV.
3045 TV. Going like before people was going live and streaming and stuff. What was that? How many? What was that, like 2011, 12?
Yeah. It's like Yeah, 2010 through 2012, around that time.
Yeah,
Because then I started skating and I wasn't on the show anymore.
yeah, you started, and then the show went to shit because she let. No, I'm just playing.
Aw. But
But
no,
yeah,
we was doing it before
mhm.
it became a thing.
Yep,
And
and
that's
then
awesome.
she moved away.
But well, the thing is like how I started out with Popcorn in Your Beard. Like I started as a guest, like I was just a guest on the show, and I guess my personality just fit. So Beckett, God rest his soul,
Yeah,
he was like, yo, you got to be on here. You
right.
got to be on here. And so like I had my own segment and everything. Like
Oh yeah.
the hot seat, like yo, it would get wild.
I found some of them. You know what? We're gonna get them skits back out there that we had shot too.
Let's not do that.
But yeah, I mean, I love doing this. And it's like an outlet, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Like you said, I'm not trying to catch the wave. I want to make the wave, and I'd rather make the wave talking about some shit that I like to talk about. You know
right.
What I mean?
And I started doing podcasting back in August of 2017. And I tell this story. I tell the story for a reason. August the 3rd, 1998, going into my senior year of high school, I took a cop on a high-speed chase and got shot at 5 times, point blank range in my car. But I survived, no bullets, no nothing. And was looking at 25 years. And through the grace of God and him telling on himself, the cop telling on himself on the stand, I was able to avoid all of that and kind of go on by my life. I lost my scholarship to K-State, so I played football, very good at football, had a theater scholarship. Everything just went downhill. And I lost a lot of stuff and I was gaining it back. So I was always a community leader. I was always in my community talking, doing different things and stuff like that. So in August of that year, because it was prior to that, I'm like, man, I want to do like a radio show. And I was meeting different people that was doing different things. I'm like, man, I want to do something like a radio show or whatever. Then another guy, he was doing a podcast and he was like, hey, would you like, he's like, I'm always seeing your Black History facts. Why don't you go and do your Black History facts on my show? And I was like, man, how are you doing your show? He was like, on my phone. I'm like, how do you do that? In the little podcast app. You know what I'm saying? With Speaker Radio.
Right.
So I started buying equipment, or doing this or doing that. And this before I knew anything. I didn't know anything about YouTube, how to stream on YouTube, anything. So a lot of my early stuff was on Speaker Radio, and I was live on Facebook. When Facebook, you can go live on there. And you know what I'm saying? So I, it started gradually getting better and better. And then I switched over to StreamYard and YouTube during the pandemic, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And doing all this political stuff. I mean, I had different politicians on. E-Man from E-Man's Movie Review before Recast T'Challa. You know what I'm saying? Was on. In all these different particular, just Black people doing great things. You know what I'm saying? That was my theme, especially talking about the stuff that was going on. And I decided one day last year, because it's on TikTok, man, I want to do the stuff that I love. I got collectibles. I got, all these comics that I spend tons of money on. I'm not talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Let me get into this. And that's when I got into it. And the Recast T'Challa thing was going on, and all of that. And I just went head first. My first video that I did when it was just nerd stuff was Black Sands Entertainment versus Eric July and ISO. You know what I'm saying? When they started beefing. That was my first video. And then I seen how much the numbers came in and people were respecting just my thought process on that and the knowledge that I had with comics and stuff. I was like, oh man, I feel it now. This is it. So now I'm rolling, man. And like I said, I am so blessed and thankful that I got to meet you guys and others, that's doing this, man, because I see our counterparts link up. Screen Crush,
they always linking.
Screen Crush, Heavy Spoilers, and Real Rejects hooked up. And they joke with each other on each other's shows. Screen Crush would joke on Heavy Spoilers would joke on Screen Crush, Heavy Spoilers would joke on Real Rejects. They joking on everybody.
John Campion Real Rejects just did something.
Yeah, you see what I mean? And that's another one that I did that got some numbers. because I did a reaction video to Job Campion, and I
Mhm.
feel like, you know, we're not huge channels,
Right.
but we have a foundation, and I wanted that with E-Man, but E-Man has his own thing with his own set of people, and I'm like, man, I need my tribe,
Nah,
and I
E-Man
literally
he done took a step. I think he done took the check too.
he did.
I ain't gonna say nothing, but I think he done took the check.
All I'm gonna say, I throw that. I'm gonna let Jaku say, I want you to put that in a box with my mama's titties, and I want you to throw that some bitch in the ocean, and only Jaku Stowe can find. That's where
right. I'm just
I'm
saying.
gonna
Because
try
I've
to
been
get,
watching, you know, and no disrespect to E-Man, but I've been watching this stuff lately, and I'm like,
I'm going
Nate
to
Moore got to him, man.
I'm going to reach out to E-Man. I forgot that I had the comment, so I forgot. My bad. Whoever was in the comments, I'm about to get to your comment. Gray, Gray, like T.
Mhm.
I'm surprised you didn't have a T. Okay, I'm gonna reach out to E-Man because I reached out to him before. He was like, "Oh man, I'm on this other podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? I try to get to you when I got some time." Reach out to him again. Oh man, because I know that him and the other guy, because they was just at the Ant-Man Quantum
Who that Straw
Brown,
Hat Luffy?
not Straw Hat Luffy, the other, he's a movie critic also. I can't think of the brother's name, but he's always on his show.
Oh, just my opinion.
Just my opinions, yeah,
Yeah.
or just my opinions. And I reached out to him. See, when I did my recap, when I do certain things, that because I respect E-Man.
Me too.
So when he
I
did,
do.
so when he did his Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I reached out to him first and said, "Hey, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I'm going to do a reaction to your reaction of Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Mhm.
Do you mind? Because I don't want you to come back and try to hit me with some." He's like, "Man, do your thing."
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I went out to him. Now everybody else, like Grace Randolph, I don't care. I react to you. Somebody don't care. You understand? But him, I was coming out like, hey, can I do this? And I'm going to shout out, the Wakanda Forever challenge, just stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But this is just me, and this is no disrespect. And I would even say this. I also feel like that because we're all doing the same thing, bring some of us up. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, I remember when he got up, like the first time we did our video on StreamYard, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing.
Right.
And I was doing the StreamYard on my phone because I was recording through my MacBook for Spreaker Radio.
Mhm.
And we went 2.5 hours, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just talking. And I also feel like, you know what I mean? Maybe at the time I was a little bit too political for him and he had to stay within that, because of what he was doing. But I also feel like, hey, let me get some of these other brothers in. That's just me. Because if my channel blows up, do you think I'm not going to have time to bring all of y'all with me and doing shows and stuff like that and getting other people? Because I want to be accessible. I don't want to be to the point where I'm too good or I'm too big to start bringing. You know what I mean?
Especially those who contribute. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you would notice, and I'm gonna do this with you 9 times out of 10. If I comment, especially because it's easier for me to super chat. If you got a super chat, Planet Fanatics, anytime he's on there, I just super chat him. I don't care if it's $5, $10. I don't care if it's $5. It's just showing here, hey, this dude is doing his thing. I'm being an example of y'all getting on this and flooding his thing with chats. Get this man a few dollars. You know what I'm saying? Just for his time and his effort that he's given to us. A lot of people like me, I literally will get off at 4:30 in the morning. If we go long, it's 5:12. I'm talking about manual labor at Ford. You know what I'm saying? At the plant. Come right up in here, get ready, back hurting, give me a cup of coffee, and I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the dedication. It's really not it's really showing my dedication to them, but showing that I can do it. You know what I mean? So, so I feel like if I do get big where I don't have to work at 4, I'll bring up all you Negroes with me. And we gonna have I want to, and I hate to say it like this, I want to compete with them. No, dead serious. if John Campion, all these, and I respect their channels, they got awesome channels.
I'm with you.
You know, New Rock Stars. New Rock Stars has I remember watching them when Philip Molina was doing breakdowns and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And now look how much they elevated where they can be able to spread that wealth. You know, I might not agree with MT, but MT is very good at what he does. You know what I'm saying?
I can't watch him no more. I
can't.
I can't watch.
I can't because you're not gonna call me a nerd baby. But you know what I mean?
I can't watch. They when you start, I don't know, when people get disrespectful for no reason,
especially online, man, I got a problem.
I'm good.
You know, Eric Voss, I still got respect for him, for Melina. Others because they don't do that. The other sister that's on there, she don't go there. It's just him. Right. But we need to be like them. You know what I mean? As far as the network. So when one of us pulled up like Chillmonger, Chillmonger is starting to rise. Planet Fanatics is starting to rise. We reaching out to them. Don't you know what I mean? I get on their show. You get on my show. I get on your show. We're starting a network. So when you got 500 people watching you, they be like, "Oh, Dre Mac, let me go over there and check in with her. Blue, let me go and check out what he got. Meka do horror. Man, I like horror. Let me go out there and check out Meka on these different platforms." And that's how we grow. So that's the vision that I got. And I guarantee you, when I see a vision, I'm walking in my purpose. And trust me, I see that for us.
No, I'm with you.
Speak that life. Speak that life.
That's right.
Preach on.
100. I'm with that, man. We got to do that. We got to, and it's some of us doing it. And the thing is, it's not a lot of us in this
space.
That's doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of them.
Yes,
you get on YouTube, it's they there. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a lot of us who talk the talk and can compete with them. So I'm like I said, I'm with it. I'm up for the competition. I'm all about competing.
And I feel like we have to make our staple in this arena. And the only way we're gonna make our staple in this arena is by supporting each other for one. You know what I'm saying? But number two, staying on time. Like I can't. Like, man, because I sleep during the day, because I'm a human vampire, I'm 137 years old. You just don't know it yet. I'm sleep. I'm sleep till about 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? So when I hear breaking stuff, I'm like, yo, I can't do it. But what if Planet Fanatics is doing? Let me go support him. You know what I'm saying? If I break something, then Blue like, yo, I like that. You do it. You know what I'm saying? The more that we got, and more we start shouting out each other. You know what I'm saying? We got that feedback. Then others is coming into that space like, yo, and that's and again, that's the only thing. Like E-Man, I can hit up E-Man on Instagram. You know, inbox him. You know what I mean? And the John Campea thing when he was like, I'm the father of Recast T'Challa. I seen that. I was like, yo, E-Man, dude talking crazy. What's happening? You know what I mean? I got a video for you. Check me out. But again, if I'm making video, I'm supporting you, dog, a retweet, a follow, something. You know what I mean? That's all I'm not asking for no money. I'm not like, you know, I'm not asking for anything, but man, a follow and shout me out. A follow and a retweet. So that's all. That's the only thing, you know what I mean? But you might be right. You might be right. That's all I'm saying is because man, for a person who creates something, I'm going hard. That's my baby. I'm going hard on it, and I'm not taking no for an answer.
Right. I don't know. And I mean, that just could be me. It just seems, you know, no. And like I said, I love email stuff. The stuff that he, you know what I'm saying, he put out, but he been at these premieres kind of heavy. He ain't, you know what I'm saying, like
he is part of Rotten Tomatoes, so I'm not gonna hate him. He's a Rotten Tomatoes. He's a professional. He's a critic. So I can't be mad.
Because I remember E-Man saying, "Oh, Marvel never."
Yeah, you right. You right. And
Marvel never had me.
All of a sudden, after Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and they find and they was like, "Oh, you're the one." Right. Wait a minute. Yeah. I know y'all remember Money Talks. Oh, you're the investigative reporter. Get the fuck out. He said, ha ha. You got a lot of pull in this town. So yeah, he did say that.
That's what he said. So, and that's what I'm looking at. You know, I take people for their word, but I don't mind. You know, if he did, he did. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no disrespect. Ain't nothing
Hey
wrong
man,
with it. I
do
commend that.
what
You
you
know what I'm
do.
saying? Because you can't just stay here forever. If it's big enough or if it's good enough, just like you said, just don't forget.
Just don't forget.
You know, just don't forget. That's it.
That's it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up because it is. I know it's 12. Is it you, Mika? You on the
It's
East Coast, right?
midnight.
Oh yeah.
It's
Okay,
midnight.
I don't got the wrap it up box. Yeah, let's
It's
wrap.
12 for us. It's 12 for us.
Yeah. So tell the people because I know people gonna watch this on a replay. They're gonna be like, y'all went 2.5 hours. What the hell? Let me see this. So
You
tell
talking
the
about 2.5 hours?
Hey, I didn't even know we was gonna go 2.5 hours.
people, it wasn't supposed to go this
We
long.
wasn't supposed to go this
Yeah, like,
long,
wasn't
but
supposed to
you
go
know,
this
when you get
long.
passionate about
But that
Wait.
last of us episode really was.
Now y'all, but I'm a look. No disrespect to y'all, but y'all drug that out. Y'all drug that like way. I'm like y'all
It was-
still talking about.
But it's that good though.
It is good.
It's
I was
that
like, man,
good.
just skip to the end, man. You know what I mean?
he's like, first part, the end.
Last of us, because I was like, but
Get
nah,
to the
that was
yeah.
actually a good breakdown though. It was a good breakdown.
Yeah, so tell the people how they can be able to find you, social media, YouTube, all that good stuff.
For me, it's Bluminati everything. And if you want to follow the channel, it's Blues House BLU though BLUHOUSE. I think it's Blues House Live on Instagram though. So with 2 underscores, Blues underscore House underscore Live on Instagram.
So if you can't spell blue, don't come to the channel.
Yeah,
Anyway, don't even come to you just eliminate it immediately if you can't spell BLU.
Right,
You put an E there.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. It's
You're
some
done,
other house show up. You know what I'm saying? So
You're done, son.
So social media, basically just Instagram. That's so Meka G. I mean, I do have TikTok, but I don't really use it too much.
You gotta get that Twitter popping, man.
I did, and then I quickly deleted it because I just
was
got.
like, oh, she friend. Where's she at? She got.
I quickly deleted because I didn't know what to. I didn't know what to
got
say
back
or
live, man. It's back live now.
I will.
And I would say this also, we can also use that audio that they have, kind of like Clubhouse.
Yeah.
We can start utilizing that when we're like busy and we're not busy, but we can't get to our, these streams. Start utilizing that tool. All of us get on, start bringing people in there, and we start talking. Because again, people like crowds. You see 20, 30 of us in there. We, what I'm saying, we're talking. They're gonna want to know what's going on. That's bringing more people. That's bringing more people to the channel. Getting your watch hours up. I'm just saying, we can hustle.
Yeah,
we can. We can hit it.
You follow Theo B?
No, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, nah, Theo B going in hard for that Black Panther dog. He might have created Black Panther back in the 60s. That's how. Salute to my dog Theo, but he used Twitter Spaces a lot.
The Twitter Space, yeah.
He used it a lot. So
yeah, and then also Clubhouse, because I still even though I don't use Clubhouse at all anymore, I still got a room in there and still got my little followers. So I'm just looking at other opportunities we could do when we're not here in this space. What else can we do to be able to bring more attention to our channel so we can be able to build these channels up, get monetized, start making some money? That's what I'm looking at, making some money. Let's let this hard work that we're doing, let's get some money for it, some dividends.
Yeah.
Some
I gotta pay my people, man. I gotta give them a raise.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys. Meka, thank you so very much for stopping by with the breakdown and with the It review. I really appreciate it. I had so much fun watching that. Now I'm going to watch It Part 1 and Part 2, and I just hope it's as fun. If I'm telling you,
on Paramount, right? What is it on Paramount?
It was on
HBO Max,
but they pulled. I don't know if it's still on there because I went and looked for the original It
might be on Tubi.
I think they you playing, but you're serious. I'm serious. It might be on Tubi.
HBO Max. A lot of the things that they canceled, they moved over to Tubi, and I don't even know how they did that because Disney owns Tubi. which is weird.
Right.
Or Fox owns Tubi, which is still owned by Disney, but it's
Oh, I just briefly, what they're doing now is because there's really not a lot of money in those premier streaming. If you're not,
streaming is horrible.
yeah, if you're not spreading your content out, so a
Yep.
lot of them are going to start spreading their content out.
Start leasing it out.
Just start leasing it out. So that's why. All right,
Tubi
so
is the go-to.
all right, so I gotta wrap it up. I gotta do the wrap it up box. I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging with me. Blue, we'll get together, either your show, my show, whatever show. We'll get together and do our thing. We could go 5.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Without no problems.
Go long, man.
I'm gonna tap out after. I'm gonna tap out after 2. I'm just gonna let y'all know that right now.
No, I'm joking. I don't want to go that long. Yeah, I don't want to go that long. But yeah, man. You know, we get together and do our thing. Meka, again, I appreciate you guys coming in. Just stay backstage just for a little bit. I'm about to go ahead and close out this show.
Indeed.
All right. So this is your man Dre Mac. If you are watching this on the replay, I appreciate you guys for hanging with me. Thank you so very much for sticking around for this long. Excellent show. Appreciate the guest that was on the show. Hey, if you ever want to hook up with me, man, all you got to do is just hit me up, inbox me on Instagram, hit me up on Twitter. You can inbox me on Twitter, whatever, man. I just want to be able to show love. And if you show me love, I want to show love, and let's get things popping. But you already know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all. Peace and vibe higher. I did that with the wrong hand. Peace and vibe. It doesn't matter. Let's get out of here. If you came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking around for the entirety of the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you want to get a little more personal with me, hit me up on my Instagram, hit me up on Twitter, or any of the social medias that you see below you. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher.